Greater Works by Lillian, 1945-1946, Chapter 5, Our Divine Romance. Our intimate experiences with our real self is our assurance that we are established on high. We recall the prophet's ringing note, "Get thee up into high mountain, behold your God." Isaiah 49. Spirit is known through revelation. He who has found Spirit is Spirit. Quote, "Now we have received not the Spirit of the world, but the Spirit which is of God, that we might know the things that are freely given to us of God." 1 Corinthians 2:12. Recently, a letter reached me containing the following paragraph. Quote, "Everyone is living in his own world, which is of his own making. Everyone thinks for himself. For instance, I have a brother who does not believe in truth, nor wants to have anything to do with it. In fact, all the time he is moving about in his own monotonous circle, steeped in old theology. Right now, his thoughts are filled with sickness and the impending need of an operation. It is plain that we can help another only when he seeks our help or is willing to listen to us." Reading through to the end of that paragraph, I, the author of this book, was stirred to the depths. So glaringly lay exposed to me the diabolicalness of such belief. Simultaneously, a light, brilliant and breathtaking, electrified me like a bolt out of the blue, as everywhere I saw people being sentenced to the result of their own thinking, taught that they have a mind of their own, when in reality it is not so at all. Never could there be one God, one mind, and multiple personal minds besides, each to be consulted, treated, changed, regenerated. Right at this time, there was a member of my own family planning for an operation for a condition which had troubled him for several years. Here was the very opportunity I needed to challenge the deplorable teaching that we should not attempt to help another except upon his request, and also to explode the false hypothesis that each one is responsible for his own thinking. I accepted this undertaking for the glory of God, John 11:4, and would tell no man. Fixing my vision on spiritual existence to be the eternal fact of being, I knew that I had nothing to do with the personal mind of John or with his sick thoughts. The fact that he was disinterested in truth mattered not, nor that he had previously refused my offer of help. Only one thing mattered. Only one thing was of importance to me. What am I seeing? What am I believing? Identified wholly with the Spirit which is of God, I could not consider healing anyone or anything, least of all John and his thoughts. My whole responsibility lay in turning from the spirit of the world to the Spirit which is of God, that I might behold in a glorious and ever-expanding way the things that are freely given us of God. With devoted, all pure love for the one alone, I took up the book Light of the Eternal and turned to the chapter entitled The All as Unity, to fully absorb its presentation of the analogy between the sun and its light, and God and his identities. Vividly, I saw that the light of the sun was the radiation of the sun, and the rays had no light of their own at all. How utterly impossible for a ray to become darkened, impure, or impaired, for the sun is its unfailing and everlasting light, its source and substance, its total existence. Every ray is the perfect sun itself. I then turned to our infinite selfhood and likened it to the sun, and ourselves as infinite, distinct identities I likened to the sun's ray of light, the sun's rays of light. In this boundless, immeasurable infinite, I knew everything to be God, even as the scriptures declare, "There is none beside me, I know not any." Isaiah 44:8. Do not I fill heaven and earth? Jeremiah 23:24. It was transparent to me that as a ray has no responsibility to be light of itself, neither have we responsibility of ourselves to create or to sustain our health and wholeness. God possesses all, an indivisible totality which is everywhere and everything. I saw every identity to be the radiation of God, with no responsibility to save, heal, change, or perfect anyone. The infinite to be a unit, where not only all are in the one, but all are the one, nothing separate anywhere. Intuitively, I knew that we must accept one God, one mind, one life, one truth, one being, one substance, one consciousness, one absolute to be everyone. With vision pure and illuminated, I beheld every identity of God being to be God being. I saw John to be one of these identities, having no mind, thought, will, or being of his own, no personal responsibility. He was living, moving, and having his being in the infinite, indivisible one, which holds everything within itself, acting as one all in unity. I saw that no sickness or darkness had entered into John. He did not need anything. Everything is God, and everything is God's. God''. With my whole heart, I beheld the instantaneous presence everywhere, everything fully held by Him who does not change and will not fail, and in Him everything that is unfailing finds duration. as rays of sunlight are not emanations extending from the sun, but are the brilliance of the sun itself. Even so, identities of God are the brilliance of His glory, the express fullness of His being. Absorbed in the light itself, I had entered the perfect by the perfect. I was seeing the One as the One. I was beholding the infinite by its own brightness, even as the light of the sun can be seen by its own light alone. In a wonderful way, I knew that sooner could the stars fall from the heavens than John be responsible for personal thoughts or be dependent on anyone or anything for healing. For the One is the kingdom and the power and the glory of us all forever. A day or so later, John's wife telephoned me that something wonderful was happening to John. All pain had vanished. He was free of the trouble he had contended with for many years. He could not account for the wonderful freedom he was experiencing. He was happy and well. He was radiant. He was free. Dear friend, is there someone in your family or in your world whom you have been seeing as opposed to truth, in need of deliverance? Then here, now, is your opportunity. Your divine romance has begun. Identification with the divine mind so complete that you will enter the perfect by the perfect, and thus experience the all as unity. This is the greater works which the Bible promises. Your glory is now ever with you. Your divine expansion is without end. A realization of living truth is possible for us all without lapse or variableness, since truth is our very own being, always. As the Infinite One is fulfillment and completeness in itself, so am I fulfillment and completeness in myself. For every indivisible part of the One is the One, and there's none besides. The One beholds itself in everyone. The One experiences itself in everyone. The One fulfills itself in everyone. No one left void. How else could the One be all in all? How else could there be an instantaneous presence everywhere? The One is all nations, and all nations are the One. Quote, who shall not fear thee, O Lord, and glorify thy name? For thou only art holy. For all nations shall come and worship before thee. Revelation 15:4. Today is God's day. Today God alone is the answer. No book will answer the needs for today. No religion will be sufficient. No leader or teacher. God alone is our perfect answer. This is God's day. The universe of God is without personalities, doctrines, or creeds. God governs. God is all. Whosoever would enter into the universe of God must be willing to part with everything that has to do with getting, demonstrating, becoming. It is utterly impossible for any sickness or sin to be in the universe of God, for the mind of the invisible whole is the mind of everyone, the life of everyone, the existence and experience of everyone. Within the infinite whole, there is nothing to be overcome or destroyed, no one in need of anything, for everyone is fully held by Him in the perpetual rhythm and radiance of being. To see this universe, to enter into it, and to experience it, one must obliterate personal ego. Quote, "The hour cometh, and now is, when the true worshippers shall worship the Father in spirit and in truth. For the Father seeketh such to worship Him. God is spirit, and they that worship Him must worship Him in spirit and in truth." John 4:23-24. Spirit is indivisible life, indivisible mind, indivisible substance, indivisible existence. Life is not physical, life is not material, life is not mental, life is spiritual. Mind is not physical, mind is not human, mind is not mental, mind is spiritual. The physical, the material, and the mental all represent the flesh, in quotes, which is enmity against God. They that are after the mental do mind the things of the mental, but they that are after the spirit, the things of the spirit. Spiritual life, spiritual mind, spiritual existence is the one indivisible God. They who would be one with God must be one with spirit. There is no unity but in spirit. They who worship God in spirit, they who enter into the kingdom through spiritual revelation, are of pure mind and pure heart. The life, mind, and being of everyone is here in the spiritual kingdom of God, the all as unity. Spiritual revelation alone convinces us that life is indivisible, life is one. To be this life, to be this one, we must of necessity lay aside forever whatever ways are opposed to spirit. Spirit alone can see spirit. Spirit alone can enter spirit. Spirit alone is spirit. In the kingdom of spirit, no provision is made for healing. Nothing can appear which defileth or maketh a lie. The one infinite, indivisible mind of you, of me and of everyone is pure and perfect, without beginning of days or end of years. This changeless, luminous life is ours now, whenever we put otherness away and take this life as our very own. Our God is I am within our heart. I am within all. I am all as all. He who believes in God as the all of his life finds him. God is the self which shines out of a pure heart. What went ye out to see, if not to behold the perfect by the perfect, to understand spirit by spirit? In spirit there is no sickness, no fear or darkness. Spirit is truth. Spirit is the real and the eternal. In no way can we enter into the kingdom of spirit, but to be spirit. How can we be spirit? By putting duality away, by disidentifying ourselves with everything that represents separateness, personal minds. To the extent that we do this, the quickening spirit is felt within us. We need not pray for it, treat for it, or die for it. It is ever present, yet known and felt in oneness alone. In oneness, we know that God is eternally realizing God. We are one, even as sunbeam and sun are one. Oh, come, let us sing to the Eternal. Let us come before Him with thanksgiving, shouting to Him songs of praise. I am the first, and I am the last. There is none besides me. I am the Eternal. Preach the gospel of the kingdom oneness. Realize joy, health, peace, and wholeness to be the natural harmony of our spiritual being. None can attain it by any personal thoughts or treatments. Just spiritual realization of the actual truth of being will be quite sufficient. Identifying ourselves with the one mind alone, we do not concern ourselves with minds that are not of God, nor would we attempt to change what we know does not exist. The one spiritual mind recognizes no healing system, no mental practice, no way of personal thinking. It has no concept foreign to itself. To infinite mind, all is its own perfection everywhere. The one spiritual mind has nothing to do with demonstration, application, treatment, or result. It knows spiritual realization to be the only way to spiritual experience. Deep and all-absorbing love for spiritual light, spiritual truth, spiritual existence is first and last in all who worship God this day in spirit and in truth. we know that reality is in nothing but reality. Truth is in nothing but I am. The love of the heart for reality is an understanding love. It knows God never gave any of us a mind of our own. The one mind is as sufficient for us as is the one Son. Our divine mind does not work, struggle, treat, deny, or affirm. It does not seek results. It does not puff up itself. It sees nothing to overcome, nothing to destroy. This divine mind, this mind of spirit, shall be the mind of everyone who stops claiming a mind of his own and identifies himself as spiritual mind. How glorious and marvelous the mind of spirit, the light of spirit, the love of spirit within the heart. Never can anyone find oneness through a personal mind of his own. He cannot bring this mind to God. The way of our unity with God is provided. It is the spiritual way. It is the way of the heart. As one brings his heart to God, the false sense of personal mind fades away. The way of the heart is simple, easy, gentle for those who love God more than their own life and more than any way of personality and mental practice. Quote, because he has set his love upon me, therefore I will deliver him. I will set him on high because he has known my name. Psalm 91:14. Our spiritual love shall deliver us. What is his name? His name is Spirit. Agreement is in spirit. Quote, where two or three are gathered together in my name, there am I in the midst of them. Matthew 18:20. Only in spiritual light, spiritual love, spiritual understanding can there be agreement, peace, security, rest. We can understand one another only in his name, the way of spirit. Love is spirit. Life is spirit. Revelation is spirit. Abundance is spirit. Happiness is spirit. The realm of God is spirit. Blessed be the heart, for it can see the things of spirit. It can feel the touch of spirit. It can hear the voice of spirit. It can walk in spirit. Everyone that is worshipping God in spirit and not in mind purifieth himself, because he has received, quote, the Spirit of truth, whom the world cannot receive, because it sees him not, neither knoweth him. But ye know him, for he dwelleth with you, and shall be in you. At that day ye shall know that I am in my Father, and ye in me, and I in you. John 14:17, 20. In spirit alone are we all one. In spirit alone we speak the same language and worship the same God. How do we come into spirit? By sacrificing a mind, a will, and a way of our own. And by sacrificing a mind, a will, and a way of another. Christ, the Spirit of God in us, is our mighty I.